Hello City fans, hope you're all doing really well. We're back here with another matchday preview. City travel to the south coast this weekend to take on a Southampton side who are bottom of the pile and very much struggling. City could compile Southampton's misery as Southampton compiled City's misery last time on the south coast in a 2-0 victory, hailed by many as the worst performance of the season for the citizens. City don't want a repeat of that, certainly, but there is definitely a real gap here for Manchester City to close the gap on Arsenal. Arsenal travel to Merseyside this weekend. They are playing Liverpool away, which is a massive game for them. They generally struggle. They generally struggle at Anfield. I think everybody is well aware of that. Anfield's been a graveyard for Arsenal for many years. They've still got St James's Park to go to, which Newcastle have made a real fortress this season, and they obviously still have to come to the Etihad. Many games for Arsenal to slip up in. I still think this is very much in the balance. A lot of people are already giving the title to Arsenal. I am firmly in the camp of they are going to drop more points, and I thoroughly believe that's going to happen. Arsenal are looking very good this season, but with an Erling Haaland returning to Man City this weekend to face Southampton, Manchester City are going to get that extra verve, that extra boost as well, which I think is going to be massive. It's going to be very important, and it's a very busy Etihad here today, which is quite unusual for a Thursday, but I think everybody's gearing up for the weekend. Everybody's gearing up for those final 10-11 games where City have it in their hands for me, and obviously it's dependent on what Arsenal do, so it's not primarily in their hands, but I think we're all very aware that Manchester City can cause upsets, and I think we're all very aware that Man City can win every single game this season, which for me will see them win the Premier League title. So what's the big news going into this weekend? It's Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland, as you can hear by the cheer, is going to be back for City this weekend. He was in training, which I think is imperative. I think Pep Guardiola has the option now of starting Julian Alvarez, who plays in that false nine role so well last weekend and gave City a very different dynamic. He was dropping deep, he was pulling out to the channels, but I think naturally you're going to get Erling Haaland starting this weekend. Haaland is the Norwegian Viking who has given City a completely different dimension this season. I still believe that Julian Alvarez gives City something completely different as well, and he gives City something completely different, as I've mentioned before, when linking up with Jack Grealish, when linking up with Phil Foden. It's what City have been used to over the past 2 or 3 years when it's come to a false nine, really, post Sergio Aguero. So that is something that I do think Pep Guardiola does favour still. I think it's going to be a game this weekend where you're going to see what Pep Guardiola's all about. Will he throw a spanner in the works and start Julian Alvarez? I don't think so, but it's going to be great to see Jack Grealish as well. We know his trajectory's been upward for the past 15 games. I think he has a big part to play. I think City's defence has a big part to play as well in this one. I thought in the last game at Southampton on the south coast, they really struggled, City, to keep Southampton quiet. And Southampton, listen, every Premier League game is a tough Premier League game, because I firmly believe every team in this division on their day can beat any team. But I thoroughly believe as well, Man City have more than enough to disrupt the title race this weekend, to really put a dent in Arsenal's chainmail. And with other games coming up as well, I think that it's going to be a tough weekend for Arsenal, because I think City are going to go there and do a job. I think Liverpool will do a job for City as well this weekend, as Jamie Carragher has come out and said this week as well. So yeah, not much in terms of team news. We know Erling Haaland's going to be back for this one. The selection headache is going to be whether or not he keeps Riyad Mahrez in there. Riyad Mahrez had a really good game again last weekend, and that's also dependent on Phil Foden as well. But listen, Jack Grealish, I think he's going to be the key man this weekend. But look out for City's rear guard as well, because as I said, it was penetrated a little bit too many times, I thought, last time against Southampton. But I think Erling Haaland returning, City being completely resurgent anyway, is going to be massively positive for the citizens, and I think this is going to be a win for me. So let us know in the comment section below, everybody, what your score predictions are for this one. I'm going to go with a Man City victory for this one, as I've mentioned. I think it's going to be Southampton 0, Man City 4. I think it's going to be a real job this weekend. I think they're going to take Southampton to the cleaners, and yeah, it's going to be a fascinating watch, I think. And get your predictions in for the Arsenal game as well, because I think that one's going to be a shower. It's either going to be a draw, as I mentioned at the start, which I think Arsenal might get, but you know, if you're thinking with your heads a little bit and how good Liverpool have been over the past 2 or 3 years at Anfield, I know it's not the same Liverpool, but still Liverpool have, as we saw in the first 30-35 minutes against City last week, and they still have a lot in their in their artillery, which can cause problems. Arsenal without Saliba as well. Arguably their overperformer this season. Let us know what you think for the Arsenal score as well, everybody. I'm interested to hear what you guys have got to say about that one, and we'll see you in a bit.